So every time I see him, he'd come and be like, Canelo?
Yeah, you know how Bill do it too, yeah.
So every time, I'll be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
So every time he say that, you know, I just be like gradually getting into like looking at like, okay. And he like, he's not that big. You know, he heavy, but he not that big.
Right.
You know, and I was just like, all right. And I'm laughing, but at the same time, it started hitting me.
After Canelo Alvarez shocked the world of boxing with leaked sparring footage just days after his win against William Skull, Terence Crawford has fired shots at him and pointed out weaknesses in his training. Canelo Alvarez isn't leaving room for any unforeseen circumstances ahead of his fight against Terence "Bud" Crawford, as he recently released videos of him training in the gym instead of taking some time out to rest. His reason for this was that Terence Crawford has had a few months of training ahead of him, and from the look of things, he had that edge over him.
They talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that, Canelo.
Hence, for him to take that edge away, he needed to get back in training as soon as possible. He hadn't been spending time preparing for Crawford. Instead, he was preparing for his undisputed super middleweight championship clash with William Skull, who presented him a matchup very far from the boxing masterclass fans had expected. Hence, his training for William Skull has been perceived as a waste of time, since the fight didn't do much. However, while Canelo's training footage has generated countless impressive responses from boxing fans, one person doesn't find it impressive in any way.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you'll whoop his ass. Like
yes,
that.
man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Majimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones. It's about now.
His next opponent, rather than find Canelo's training footage as impressive as others have found it, saw loopholes in Canelo Alvarez's training footage. In a series of now deleted tweets, Terence Crawford wrote, "There's so much excitement when I see him fight. His style is made for me to exploit." In another, he wrote, "Every footage exposes something. Keep it up and trust me to watch as closely as ever."
It started hitting me like, all right, man, maybe he's on to something. You know, and then I started sizing him up, and I'm like, all right, well, Canelo 5'7", you know, my arm's longer.
Yeah.
He's strong, I'm strong.
Right.
You know, it'd be, to me, skill for skill.
Right.
You know, because Canelo not the biggest 168 fighter. So I just started looking into it, and I'm like, man.
And what's next? Probably a Canelo Alvarez response some other time to fire the shots back at him, or a host of Mexican fans swarming into his comment section to terrorize him. Interestingly, while Terence Crawford found Canelo's training footage faulty, fans had found so much motivation in it instead. Wow, Canelo training already is insane. The man's got an unrelenting attitude, and you can see the fire in his eyes. He's not just training for the fight, he's preparing for war. Can't wait to see him take on Crawford and show the world what he's capable of. This fight is going to be a statement win for Canelo, mark my words, a fan commented. Another wrote, "I'm blown away by Canelo's intensity in this training footage just after a fight. He's giving it his all, and you can tell he's hungry for another big win. The way he's pushing himself, perfecting every punch and movement, it's clear he's got a plan to take down Crawford. I'm excited to see how it all comes together in the ring." A third fan was full of praises for the Mexican. Canelo's training camp is a masterclass in dedication and focus. The man's got a clear goal in mind, and he's not letting anything get in his way. You can see the determination in every punch he throws, every combination he lands. Crawford better be ready, because Canelo's coming for him with both guns blazing. Another fellow in the comments section wrote, "This training footage shows why Canelo's one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. His work ethic is unmatched, and his mental toughness is inspiring. He's not just fighting for himself, he's fighting for his country, for his fans, and for the pride of being a Mexican boxing legend. Crawford's in for a world of trouble when he steps into that ring." Lastly, a fan added, "Canelo's training footage is a reminder of why he's a champion. The man's got an unrelenting attitude, and he's always looking to improve. You can see the focus in his eyes, the precision in his punches, and the power in his movements. This fight against Crawford is going to be a clash of titans, and I'm hyped to see Canelo take on the challenge. Bring it on!" On May 3rd, Canelo defeated William Skull in an underwhelming first fight of his 4-fight deal with Riyadh season. The Skull fight was quickly forgotten when His Excellency entered the ring immediately after the bout to announce the mega fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford for the undisputed super middleweight crown. The bout is set for September 12th at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. Frank Warren, who was ringside for Canelo vs. Skull, has spoken about the mega fight to the Stomping Ground. Once the fight was announced, Crawford had his say on the upcoming challenge ahead of him. "Everything happens for a reason, and there's a reason why I'm here. In September, I'll show the world what greatness looks like." Canelo also had his say. "Crawford is one of the best out there, and I like to share with that kind of fighter."
He could give Canelo a real problem now. I think early on you could see he's a mover, and he's obviously a very good boxer. I think to start with, when he's thrown his jab, it was falling short. They weren't emphatic punches, and I think as it slowed down, it was then connecting. He was catching him. It makes that Crawford fight, I think, more an intriguing fight. I always say a good big and beat a good little one, and he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but he could give Canelo a real problem now because Canelo was getting caught.
Watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked it.
Skull was catching Canelo. It makes that Crawford fight more of an intriguing fight. I always say a good biggin will beat a good little un, and he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford. But he could give Canelo a real problem now because Canelo was getting caught. When asked if Crawford would be licking his lips after seeing Canelo Skull, well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me, ringside. You can see he liked it. No schmuck, he knows his boxing, and the other thing is, he's got to look at Madrimov, who he fought also gave him a tough fight for a guy who'd only had 12 fights. So it's going to be a very interesting fight between the two of them.
Canelo, Virgil, I mean, it'll be the Super Bowl of boxing.
If you are waiting around on that, who is it that you're going to match him with?
I don't know. I have to literally go back to the office and just figure it out. So, yeah, Virgil winning here in Riyadh was huge against Madrimov, the beast.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford look set to face each other in a massive fight later this year. Both are two of the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world at the moment, making the clash highly anticipated. Alvarez's only 2 career losses have come against Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, and Mayweather's former manager, Jay Prince, thinks Crawford will add another defeat to Alvarez's record. The fight is expected to take place at super middleweight, meaning Crawford will need to jump up 2 weight classes, as his last fight was at 154 pounds.
Madrimov, the beast. Wow, the beast. I truly feel that Virgil now is on a different level.
Final one from me. What did you say to Eddie Hearn in the aftermath of that win tonight?
No, good. Just, good fight. That's it. I mean, I think I'm 0-20 now, so... Or no, Eddie's 0-20. I think he's 0-30 4 or 5 with me, so it's okay. You know, we're just chipping away. We're gonna have losses too. You know, we're gonna have wins too. But I think tonight.
While Alvarez has the weight advantage, Jay Prince reckons Crawford has the skills to get the job done. Speaking to Sean Zettel, he said, "I believe Crawford beats Canelo. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. Crawford is one of those guys." Prince, though, refused to say anything bad about Alvarez, saying, "Of course, you know, we can't say anything bad about Canelo because he is the top of the top 2, but that's my opinion."
What's important is that both fighters came out good. Everything's good. Virgil won. Great fights. Great night for boxing.
This is the final one. You spoke to me the other day. You said that Virgil's first fight, he said to Jerry Jones, he's going to sell it out.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a reality?
Absolutely. 1,000%.
Jay Prince also downplayed suggestions that putting on the extra weight will diminish Crawford, saying, "I think Crawford has no wear and tear on him that I've witnessed watching him spar and watching him in the ring over the years, and he knows what he is doing. Canelo Alvarez is powerful and has been fighting at super middleweight for a considerable amount of time. Hence, he has a better feel of the division than Alvarez, who fights at a much lower weight class." That said, Crawford is as skillful as they come. Alvarez, though, needs to take care of business against William Skull first on May 3rd. He aims to become the undisputed super middleweight champion again with a win against Skull. Terence Crawford has never shied away from a challenge, and now it looks like his next one could be the biggest of his career. Literally. Talks are heating up for a September showdown against Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds, a fight that would pit 2 pound-for-pound greats against each other in a battle that could define the era.
Okay. Hey, John, I don't have much time left with you, so I appreciate the time that I've gotten with you. I'm curious to get your insight on a fight coming up between Terence Crawford and Canelo in September. Crawford's moving up a few weight classes to meet Canelo. Just your insight. How does Crawford cross that bridge? How does he nullify the weight difference and get a win against Canelo?
I don't know, you know.
But not everyone's sold on the idea just yet, especially not Jaron Boots Ennis. Ennis, one of boxing's most exciting rising stars, is getting ready for his own test against Imantas Stanionis this weekend. Still, he found time to weigh in on the Canelo versus Crawford hype train, and he's not exactly handing out blind endorsements. In a recent interview with Fight Hub TV, Ennis raised a red flag about Crawford moving up 2 full weight classes. "I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight at 160 just to feel what it's like against a bigger guy," he said. Boots didn't hold back when talking about what Crawford's up against. "Canelo's been at that weight for a while. He's been pinning big guys out. Crawford's smaller, and Canelo has been dropping dudes that come in at like 200 pounds on fight night." The reality is, Alvarez may not be a natural super middleweight either, but he's made a habit of hurting and finishing fighters much bigger than Crawford. That's not lost on people who know how the game works.
That's like a 50-50, 60-40. You know, you gotta lean towards Canelo because he's been at that weight for a long time now, and he been pitting big guys out and things like that. And you know, Crawford a little smaller. You know, so I don't know. We gotta see how it play out come whenever they fight. When they supposed to fight, September or something like that.
September.
Yeah, we gotta see how it play out. You know, we don't know. It's boxing. You know, but I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo because, like I said before,
Others in the boxing world have echoed similar concerns. Timothy Bradley told BoxingScene.com that while Crawford is probably the most complete fighter right now, the size difference can't be ignored. "It's a real jump," Bradley said. Crawford, for his part, has never lacked confidence. On Max on Boxing, he made it clear, "I'll fight anybody, any weight. That's what greatness is about." And for fans, that kind of mindset is exactly what makes this potential matchup so compelling. So the question remains, can elite skill neutralize elite size and power? Crawford may be one of the best technicians the sport has ever seen, but if he goes straight into a fight with Canelo, he'll be doing it with zero margin for error. Canelo has had a number of big fights too, against the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, Shane Mosley, and Sergey Kovalev, while 3 of them have come against his former bitter foe Golovkin.
And big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a great fight. The fans want to see it. So.
One man who has had firsthand experience in preparing a fighter to face the Mexican icon is Abel Sanchez, who coached Gennady Golovkin in 2 of his bouts against Canelo in 2017 and 2018, respectively.
I think it's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. I think that look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed will, just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight. But as the fight goes on, Canelo's going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round.
Longtime boxing trainer Abel Sanchez talks to Fight Hub TV and shares his perspective on a number of fights in boxing, including some potential ones on the horizon. In particular, Sanchez explains why he believes Canelo Alvarez is a bridge too far for Terence Crawford. Talking about the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight, he said, "Come on, I think it's a ridiculous fight myself. I think that Crawford is too small. Canelo is, in my opinion, the face of boxing right now. Look at his resume. I think it's a good fight for a little while. Crawford's hand speed. Just like when Golovkin fought Kell Brook, the hand speed was evident at the beginning of the fight, but as the fight goes on, Canelo is going to start pounding on him, and I think that the fight ends somewhere between the 9th and 12th round. I think anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the foot speed and the hand speed, and Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54, when he fought Madrimov in his last fight, showed us the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains or how much he does to try to get up to that level, 168 is going to make a difference.
You really feel because of the size difference, he can stop Crawford?
Well, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that anything Canelo hits him with is going to hurt him. He won't be able to catch him early because, like I said, the speed and the foot speed and the hand speed. And Crawford's a heck of a fighter at his own weight. 54, when he fought Madrimov in his last fight, showed us that he can't really, the weight makes a difference. I don't care how much weight he gains and how much he does to try to get up to that level, 168.
How we feeling? What's been going on, Terence? Talk to us for a little bit.
I got somewhere to go, man.
Yeah. Can we follow you for just the time being?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you guys supposed to do interviews over there.
Yep. Terence, I like the way
Don't talk to him.
Mario, don't I got an interview with you?
They haven't told me that. I would love to have an interview. I haven't had an interview with you, a proper interview, in a year and a half.
What's up, man? What you
What's
got?
up, bro?
Don't get the cold, man.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous fight because, I said it a while ago, Crawford is a great fighter, but he's been the same fighter from 135 to 147. He's still the same fighter. He hasn't changed anything to make him viable at the bigger weights, but Canelo has. Crawford hasn't been destroying his opponents. He destroyed one who was a shell of his former self, but Canelo is destroying everybody that he fights, destroying them, but Crawford's not. Yes, it's a good money fight, but not a real fight. Virgil Ortiz has been open about the fact that he would like to face Crawford should he move back down to 154. If he does so after the Canelo fight, the 27-year-old fan favorite believes it will no longer be with an undefeated record. Speaking to the Ring magazine, Ortiz predicted every clear win for the naturally bigger man. Just to keep it real, I think he's too small. Yeah, I know he just weighed in at 180 right now, but just putting on the weight and actually belonging to that weight are two different things.
Your move up to 154, how much stronger are you feeling? How much better are you feeling at 54?
I feel great. I feel strong. I feel motivated. I'm just ready to go out here and do my thing.
Yeah. Terence, tell us about that back and forth with Eddie.
Oh, Eddie.
Yeah, you look a little heated there.
I ain't heated.
No?
Eddie just be throwing rocks and just saying anything that comes to his mind to make himself sound, I don't know.
I would understand if he fought someone of less caliber, but it's Canelo we're talking about. That dude is good. He's been running boxing for a long time. I think it's going to be a very clear win for Canelo. He then elaborated, saying Crawford gets hit and that he cannot afford to do that against someone like Canelo. I know I'm going to get some hate for saying this. Crawford gets hit. He gets hit like everybody else. Sometimes he gets hit clean. If you get hit clean by Canelo, that's not good. It's really not good, whoever you are. And Canelo's fast. It's not like he's a slow puncher. He will catch you off guard. It's just different. What are your thoughts on the Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez fight? Who do you see winning the fight ahead of fight night? Do you think Canelo Alvarez's performance against William Skull would give Terence Crawford some morale boost? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section. And that's all for now. For all the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.